So I just watched Black Adam in theaters, and this was so close to being something great, to being something truly special, something that'll finally break the mold of the superhero genre. But even if ever so slightly, it still fails, which is a terrible, terrible shame, because it has a lot of things going for it. For starters, it has Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he's effortlessly cool and badass as always. He's just one of those true movie stars who always does a good job no matter what film he's in, and this film's no different. He commands the screen with ease, mostly due to his chiseled and imposing physique, but every now and again, he's allowed to showcase his excellent comedic timing. Without spoiling anything, one of my personal favorite moments happens when Black Adam, whom, may I remind you, was just thrusted into our modern world after 5,000 years of slumber, sees a television for the first time in his life. There's a certain film playing on the TV, and let me just say that I highly appreciate the filmmaker's decision as to what will be Black Adam's very first movie that he sees. Couldn't have picked a better one myself. During an action scene a few minutes later, the film pays homage to the movie that was on the TV, and I liked that a lot too. Speaking of action, the action scenes in the film are some of the most brutal I've ever seen in a superhero movie. Black Adam doesn't take any prisoners here, and there were a few moments of sheer overkill that legitimately made my jaw drop. This is very different for a superhero movie, and I found the change to be refreshing. I mean, you don't usually see a superhero dish out Mortal Kombat-style fatalities like Black Adam does in this film. Really fun stuff. The rest of the cast is also very likable. Sarah Shahi portrays a strong female character done right. She isn't afraid to take action and stand up for herself, but she doesn't make a big fuss about her being a woman, and her main priority is to protect her son, who's also a likable character, even though he runs his mouth way too much. There are other superheroes in this film besides Black Adam, in the form of the Justice Society. I liked all of these characters, and the actors did a good job portraying them, especially Dr. Fate, played by James Bond himself, Pierce Brosnan. I love that guy. Another positive element of the film is that it's not woke. At all. Hollywood is so riddled with propaganda, political messaging, and activists trying to shove agendas down our throats that we take it for granted by now. But in here, nothing. It doesn't try to do anything more than just deliver a solid, mindlessly entertaining action movie for the audience to enjoy. And thank God for that, because not every single movie needs to be a thinker or have a message. Some movies can just be movies, and that's perfectly fine. So, with all that being said, why do I still think the film fails? Well, to put it simply, the actual filmmaking on display is just not that good. While the film does try to deliver a unique and fresh take when it comes to some of the ideas and themes the film explores, at the end of the day, the positive things that I mentioned previously are all packed into yet another run-of-the-mill, visually nauseating, exposition-heavy, bloated, and tiring superhero movie like all the others. I swear to you people, all of these movies look, feel, and sound the same, and I'm sick and tired of it. You can literally take this entire genre, put all of these movies in a hat, pick one at random, and I'm willing to bet it'll have most if not all of the flaws that this film has. The pacing is way too fast. The film doesn't allow itself even a second to breathe. This eliminates any emotional weight the film might hold. The action, despite a refreshing dose of ruthlessness, still lacks any stakes or tension. Not to mention that the film is jam-packed with it. The action scenes take up around 80% of the entire movie. I'm not exaggerating. I can enjoy a dumb action film as much as the next guy, but this is way too much. Also, on a visual level, the film is just ugly. The overuse of slow motion, the bad CGI, the horrendous color palette. The film just doesn't try to do anything new or interesting visually. I just hate how this genre recruits different directors with different backgrounds and styles, and yet the end result looks like a manufactured corporate product straight out of the assembly line. Black Adam specifically was directed by Jaume Colette Serra, who also directed the horror films House of Wax, Orphan, and The Shallows. The Shallows in particular is a film that I really enjoyed, and it shows that this director knows how to build tension effectively. But Black Adam feels like the same old thing that we're used to seeing from directors such as Zack Snyder and Michael Bay. I wouldn't even call it style over substance. It's more along the lines of no style and no substance, which again is a terrible shame. Because if the filmmakers actually cared about telling their story in a way that would stand out, if they actually attempted to spend the time and energy in raising the quality through visual creativity and placing the focus on the emotional weight each scene requires, then I really think this film could have been one of the best superhero movies in years. I mean, it has everything else it needs: The Rock's badass performance, the unapologetically brutal action, the likable cast of characters, and of course, the lack of any typical Hollywood messaging, which by the way is probably the reason critics are butchering this film right now. Sure, I also don't think this film is great, but I also didn't like Thor: Love and Thunder, Captain Marvel, and Birds of Prey for the same reasons, and all of these films received much higher scores than Black Adam did. All 4 of these films are basically the same, except that these ones push the liberal, feminist, LGBTQ agendas that Hollywood loves so much, and this one doesn't. If you don't think that's the reason why these films received better scores than Black Adam did, then I really don't know what to tell you. So yeah, Black Adam had a lot of potential, and it presents some fresh ideas and a positive direction thematically, but as it stands, in order to reach these golden nuggets, you need to sit through the same old uninspiring package that every single superhero movie, save for a few rare exceptions, delivers to you. Very disappointing. I am giving Black Adam a 5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button, it'll help my channel out. And if you want to see more of my videos, then subscribe to my channel so you won't miss a thing. Thank you all very much, and have a good one.